A very warm welcome in the class of binomial distribution. This topic comes under Mathematics 3 in the module of probability distributions. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JIS College of Engineering. The prerequisite for this topic are the concept of binomial entity. Already we have this idea in our 11-12 days, and we are going to link it with that concept. So what is this experiment? What is the meaning of this particular binomial concept? This is a basic requirement for this class. Next, we obviously need the idea of probability distribution. So we need the idea of random variable, we need the idea of, I should say, first random experiment, and then random variable, its types like discrete distribution, continuous distribution, as well as the mass function concept, the density function concept, and the distribution function concept, cumulative distribution functions. All these are required in this idea. And even more, the concept of expectation, variance, and standard deviation for these random variables will also be required. And finally, what we are saying, this comes under this section, that the properties and tools related to these distributions. So we can firstly observe that our basic childhood days calculation, if we are considering x plus y whole to the power 0, it is 1. Then if I am writing x plus y whole to the power 1, we will get, simply it will be x plus y. You please concentrate on the coefficients. Here both the coefficients are 1. After that, if you are just making the power in the incremented manner, x plus y whole square is this, x square plus 2xy plus y square, but if you are concentrating on the coefficients, we are getting 1 to 1, and in this manner when we are going in this direction, the coefficients are 1 3 3 1, then 1 4 6 4 1, 1 5 10 10 5 1. So this table is discussed in various cases with various properties in this MCSE 301 also, but I am not emphasizing on this part, I am emphasizing on that already we have discussed one problem where this 14641 has appeared, and this is nothing but the triangle what you are getting is a famous triangle where you are getting this symmetry and other various properties, but we need this linking that these coefficients are nothing but binomial coefficients, which is coming in this case from the coefficients where we are talking about NCR. Now we will proceed further and we will see that what is the concept of binomial distribution through probability. So we are making one story and we are having a trial which has only two outcomes, and this is denoted by S for success and F for failure. The probability of S is small p, so the probability of F, you can write it as Q, but as P plus Q will be equal to 1, you can write Q is equal to 1 minus P, so it is directly written as the probability of failure is 1 minus P. Now, for example, if we toss a coin where head is denoted as success and tail is denoted as failure, this experiment comes under this type that this trial has only two outcomes, either head or tail. Now these types of trials are called Bernoulli trial. This is the name. Now if we perform a random experiment by repeating n independent Bernoulli trials, means the experiment always will give two outcomes, but we are doing this experiment n times. So if we are repeating this random experiment in independent Bernoulli trials, then the random variable capital X representing the number of success in the n trials. Please try to understand. We are generating the random variable capital X which links with the number of success in n trials. Then this random variable will have a binomial distribution. So what is stated, if we perform a random experiment by repeating n independent Bernoulli trials, then the random variable X representing the number of success in the n trials has, that means the random variable X has a binomial distribution. So the possible values for binomial random variable capital X depends on the number of Bernoulli trials independently repeated, because we are repeating the independent Bernoulli trials, okay, and it is 0, 1, 2 in this way n. That means if we are tossing this coin n times, maybe we are not getting a head anytime. We may get head one time, we may get head two times. In this manner we may get head n times, that means all the times. So these are the possible outcomes. Now prior to the experiment, the number of successes to occur is unknown. We don't know that how many successes will come, but we could have as few as 0 successes or as many as n successes, clear, because it can range up to 0 to n. Now in the example, if we take a binomial distribution where the probability of the success is taken as 0.4. So let us go into the story or the real life question related to this problem. That is, if we assume that 40% of a very large population of registered voters favor candidate Obama. So a random sample of n equal to 5 voters will be selected, and X, the number favoring Obama out of 5, is to be observed. So the story is clear. We are taking a random sample of size 5 and we are going to check among those 5 how many of them are favoring Obama. We are observing that. Now what is the probability of getting no one who favors Obama? That means we are trying to find out the probability of that situation where capital X is equal to 0. So what are the assumptions for the above calculation? It is very important. We assume here that this is a very large population because it is mentioned thus we assume that drawing one person at random without replacement who favors Obama will not substantially change the probability in subsequent draws. If we take one from a large number of population, whatever the opinion he or she is giving, it will not give any impact in the next draw. This means we assume we have 5 independent trials with the same probability of choosing an Obama supporter each time, and each trial is labeled as success or failure. So if we continue, we will see that we will consider picking someone who favors Obama a success and X is the number of success. Then the terms success and failure are just labels. It is given that small p, that is probability of success is 0.4. So obviously failure will be 0.6 because it is either or condition, either likes Obama or not. So either yes means success or no on each of 5 draws. So what we see that X, the number out of 5 favoring Obama, follows the binomial distribution from this discussion. So what is the probability of getting 0 persons who favors Obama? Means no one favors Obama in that particular sample. So Px will be equal to 0. First one will not select Obama or prefer Obama, will be 0.6. Next one is also same. Next one is also same. Fourth one as well as fifth one. All of them are saying no. So P of X equal to 0 will be 0.6 into 0.6 into 0.6 into 0.6 into 0.6 because there are independence between events. So ultimately we are getting 0.6 whole to the power 5 whose value is 0.07776. So this is the way of finding out the answer of this specific question. So if someone asks you the next question, that what is the probability of getting one person who favors Obama, then one person will give you 0.4 and the remaining will give you 0.6 plus first one is giving you no but the next one is giving you 0.4 and others are no. In this manner the trials will give you this particular case, that in the last case first, second, third, fourth, fifth all are in the last experiment. First 4 are saying no but the last one is saying yes. So summing them up, what we are getting 5C1 0.4 whole to the power 1 into 0.6 whole to the power 4, because all these are same expressions. We can multiply it 5 into the whole thing, but this 5 can be represented as this and we get the result is this. Now you will get already I think you have identified the clue that why I have represented the first figure in the starting part of this discussion. So if we just more continue this discussion, that the probability of getting 2 persons who favors Obama, then it will be, you can calculate it by that manner and you will see that your arrangements will be like this: YYNNN, YNYNN. In this manner you will get a finite number of arrangements which is nothing but 10 configurations. You can arrange it, you must check it by your own. But when we are summing them up, our calculation in this manner will be tough, but we can arrange it in this way that it will be 5C2 0.4 whole to the power 2 into 0.6 whole to the power 3, because every expression will be having same expression. So we get that the probability of getting two persons who favors Obama is 0.34560. In the similar manner, if you count that what is the probability of three persons who favors Obama, you are not going to arrange those in this pattern. Just by the similarity index with the last two examples, we can write it in this fashion, and this is the value. For 4 this is the value, and for 5 this is the value. So we are able to find out all these probabilities, all possible probabilities rather, for finding out the value which can be assumed by the prescribed random variable. Now we can note that if we go from I equal to 0 to 5, probability of x is equal to I, we will get it 1, as this is the legitimate discrete probability distribution, because we have to have it 1 to maintain the formulations of probability distribution and its properties. So what we get from the last 5 minutes or 7 minutes discussion is that a random experiment consists of n Bernoulli trials such that the trials are independent. Each trial results in only two possible outcomes labeled as success or failure, and the probability of a success in each trial denote D as P remains constant. The random variable capital X that equals the number of trials that result in a success is a binomial random variable with parameters P and N, where P is the associated probability which must be lying between 0 and 1, and N is the number of trials. So the probability mass function for this X, it is going to be mass function because it is discrete random variable. So this is nothing but the extension of the discussion of discrete random variable in special case. So fx is ncx p to the power x into 1 minus p whole to the power n minus x for x runs from 0 to n. One more problem is for you for both way participation, that is, if we consider sample of water has a 10% chance of containing a particular organic pollutant. So we have to assume that the samples are independent with the regard to the presence of this pollutant. So we are writing X, the number of samples that contain the pollutant in the next 18 sample analyzed. Then X is the binomial random variable with P is equal to 0.10 because of this 10% and N 18. So you know the parameters which are required for binomial distribution is P and N, both are given. So our job is to find out the probability that in the next 18 sample exactly 2 contains the pollutant. So this is the question of this problem which is related to the binomial distribution. Now we are entering into the discussion of mean and variance for binomial distribution. We have already discussed the mean, variance and standard deviation in the general format of probability distributions, but as it is now we are going to discuss the special type of distribution, so we have to discuss this mean and variance for this one also. Now the mean of x for the definition of discrete random variable Ex, it will be NP, and the variance will be NP into 1 minus P. Variance means here we are making it sigma square, and the notation is that x follows the binomial distribution with parameter P and N. We sometimes just write as to denote that it is following binomial distribution BIN with the parameters N and P. So in a similar manner, the problem what I have just stated last to last slide, same problem is there. If you have already known that what is the expression of Ex, what is the expression of Vx from the last slide, NP and NP into 1 minus P. So if N is known, P is known, then NP and N into 1 minus P all are known. So from this property in the last slide, you can find out the expected value of x and the variance of x for this particular problem. Now our question is, what does the binomial distribution look like? It is the visualization part. Now we are entering. So look at this. If we take 10 and 0.5, means 0.5 is the mean and 10 is the number of trials, and in the next case it is 10, 0.2. So mean is NP, so it is P 0.5 and N is 10. So if you get P is equal to 0.5, then 1 minus P will also be 0.5. So it immediately indicates that it is having equal chance of success or failure. So look at this. This is just placed as the distribution is very much symmetrical with this middle position. And this is the probability, so it is 0.5. But if you were looking at the next adjacent figure, here we are saying that it is a small chance of success because P is 0.2, so 1 minus P will be 0.8. So if the chance of success is less, then the structure will be something like that, though I should not draw these types of curves because it is discrete distribution, but I want to emphasize that the chance of success is less means it will be shifted in the left part. But in the other cases, in the next page, what we can see that if the chance of success is higher, it will be right shifted, and look at this, the structure is just nothing but the mirror image of the last particular distribution. And if we think for even larger chance, means it is 0.9, it is more steep. It is not only shifted, it is shifted and it is more steep to the right hand side. So these graphical representations are very important, or these visualizations are very important. Then only you can proceed further for the discussion of the binomial distributions. So when we are summing up this discussion in the midway of this discussion, that we get the definition of the binomial distribution. We have already done this, but it is a formal way of representing this one, that fx, that means the probability mass function for this will be ncx p to the power x 1 minus p whole to the power n minus x for x equal to 0 to n, and in all other cases it is 0. Now where the two independent constants n and p in the distribution are known as the parameter of the distribution. Now physical condition for binomial distribution is that we get the binomial distribution under the following experimental conditions. When we are going to get this binomial distribution, so each trial results in two exhaustive and mutually disjoint outcomes termed as success and failure. It has to be exhaustive and they has to be mutually disjoint also. The number of trials, that is n, it has to be finite, and the trials are independent of each other. That means one result will never impact on the other. Thus the probability of the success is p and same in each trial. In every time when you are starting this experiment or trial, the chance of getting the thing is remaining same as the last experiment. So there are some important notes. Binomial distribution is a discrete distribution, we know this, and it can assume only finite number of isolated values. Next, a random variable x which follows binomial distribution. It is termed as sometimes binomial variate and denoted as this n and p, where n and p are the parameters of the distribution. Np is the mean, npq is the variance. Npq means np into 1 minus p, and the variance and the standard deviation of will be, this one is the root over of this one, so root over npq is the standard deviation of the binomial distribution. Next, we are checking that a random experiment be performed repeatedly, each repetition being called a trial, and let the occurrence of an event in the trial be called as a success, and non-occurrence will be failure. So q will be 1 minus p, and we have already discussed this. So physical conditions are already discussed in the last slide. So we are proceeding further. We get some problems. The problem tells us that a biased coin is tossed 6 times. This is the problem, that the coin is now biased. The probability of head on any toss is 0.3. It should be 0.5 if it is unbiased. That is the problem is given for the binomial distribution over here. Now we say that let x denote the number of heads that come up. Calculate, we have to calculate p x equal to 2, x equal to 3, and this one. So here n is known to us, p is known to us. We get p x equal to 2 according to the mass function 6c2 0.3 to the power 2 and 0.7 to the power 4. So this is calculated. For similarly, we can calculate x equal to 3. I am emphasizing on this part that when we are interested for x greater than 1 but less than equal to 5, that means we are interested for x equal to 2, equal to 3, equal to 4, and equal to 5, as it is discrete distribution, or we can call it a discrete random variable, the distribution of discrete random variable. And after that we can calculate all these values according to this mass function, and we will get the result like this. In a similar manner, if we go for the next problem, our job is to understand the question first, that a quality control engineer in a charge of testing whether or not 90% of the DVD players produced by his company conforms the specification. To do this, the engineer randomly selects a batch of 12 DVD players from each day's production. The day's production is acceptable provided no more than one DVD player fails to meet the specification. Otherwise, the entire day's production has to be tested. Now the question is, what is the probability that the engineer incorrectly passes a day's production as acceptable if only 80% of the day's DVD players actually conform to specification? Look at this. It is the measurement of the engineer's fault, basically, not the DVD player's fault. So before going to the second question, we can think how to approach the first question. We are assuming X denote the number of DVD players in the sample that failed to meet the specification. So X has the binomial distribution with parameters n equal to 6 and p equal to 0.3. So when we are making this, X has a binomial distribution of this one, P of X less than 1 is P of X equal to 0 and P of X equal to 1. So we can make it 12C0 according to the distribution of this one. It is going to be P equal to 0.2 because 80% is the requirement, so it has to be 0.2 and it will be also 0.2. So 0.2 to the power 0 and 0.8 to the power 12, and it will be 0.2 to the power 1 and 0.8 to the power 11. The calculations are not the topic of discussion. The topic of discussion is that how to think that we have to calculate P when X is less than or equal to 1. And similarly you can go for the next question and you will get the next question and their answer is accordingly to that. So now we are going to conclude this class, and I have to mention that from where I got these references. So these are the reference list, and the assignments are like this which you have to solve, and obviously you feel free to contact for any confusion regarding the solutions, but please understand this, please first formulate the problem into mathematical conversion and then solve it. So I want to thank you all for your kind participation. Happy listening, happy learning.